Okay, so, hi, I'm Becca. This is not by me. This is by a really fucking awesome dude named Frosty. He's really fucking cool, and the link to his blog, wherein this was originally posted, is in the doobly-doo. Alright. Anyway. Guys, I want to call your attention to something. Don't you think it's weird that of all the myriad ethnic groups we have shoehorned together in this great nation, our predominant mythological tradition is tied to a bunch of ancient dead dudes whose religion no one even worships anymore? Guys, why do we know so many Greek myths, guys? If you grow up in Sweden, they make you learn Norse myths. Straight up, that is something you have to do. Because the Swedes descended from the Norse. I'm not even 1/18th Greek, guys. Why do I know all of these Greek myths? Now, I am not denying Greek myths are super sweet. There is nothing better if you want to watch a bunch of asshole children fucking kill each other. But I feel like that it is my duty as an American to raise awareness of some motherfucking American mythology up in here. So here goes. Now, John Henry was a steel-driving man. Do you guys know what that means? That means he was a dude who worked on a railroad, and his job was to kill mountains. Now, the way he did this was some poor son of a bitch named Little Bill would hold the steel drill in place against the rock, while John Henry beat the shit out of it with a 20-pound hammer. And Bill had to keep turning that drill after every strike, and eventually the drill would get dull, so he had to swap it out for another drill that someone would hopefully hand him about that time. And then they would bring the old drill to a blacksmith so the blacksmith could fix it, and then bring it back to Bill so he could switch it out. Again. And meanwhile, John Henry's hammer is just whistling right past Bill's junk, or face, or ribs, or wherever he had to hold the drill in order to make sure the rock was getting brutalized in the right direction. And John Henry, for his part, just has to heft a fucking 20-pound hammer over and over again with perfect accuracy all day through solid rock, never stopping, never getting tired, under constant threat of rock slides and disfigurement. So this is this guy's job. Now, John Henry works for a pack of rat bastards called the C&O Railroad Company. I know they are rat bastards, because one day John Henry's railroad team rolls up on this big fucking mountain. It is big enough mountain that it is named Big Bend Mountain. So the railroad crew's all like, well, better get ready to go around this mountain, huh? And the stupid motherfuckers from C&O are like, nope, going through the mountain, straight through is like only a mile and a half thick. You guys like having jobs, right? So do it. So they do it. Most of these guys are freed slaves, so they don't exactly have their pick of employment opportunities. This goes double for John Henry, who is not only a freed slave, but is also an unstoppable badass who never quits. So every day, all the steel drivers go to work, and they fling themselves mercilessly at this mountain, and like 20 people die, and get buried in shallow graves outside the tunnel. People are dying left and right, and up and down, and pretty much every direction you can die in. But John Henry just keeps abusing that stone, making a solid 10-foot tunnel every day at least. So, you know, great for him, but all his friends are still dead. And the dicks at C&O are getting impatient, so when this traveling salesman shows up, all like, hey guys, I have a steam-powered drill machine. It will drill the fuck out of this mountain, no problem. They're like, sign us up! And by the way, all you people who work for us are fired. Especially John Henry! Now, John Henry is the kind of man who takes no guff from anybody. It is unreal how little guff this man takes. Like, if there is a great big pile of guff by the side of the road and John Henry walked by, that pile would remain completely undisturbed, because he would take none of it. That is how little guff he takes. So, when he sees this guff coming his way, like a shitstorm, rockslide, avalanche of guff, he just sidesteps that shit and is like, hey, traveling salesman, I bet I can drill harder, better, faster, and stronger than your pussy-ass machine. And the traveling salesman is like, you're on! So the next day, John Henry lines up next to this machine, along with his trusty shaker Little Bill, and two 20-pound hammers, and they get to work. Now, this steam drill is pretty fast. It's like, chuff, 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 bitches. But meanwhile, John Henry is pretty fast, too. Or like, wham, bam, clean, ding, motherfucker! I don't know what hammers sound like. Anyway, the drill and John are pretty much neck to neck. Maybe the drill is even doing a little better, but then it gets stuck. Gets jammed in this hole in the rock, and John Henry just goes on grunting and flailing and sweating 14 feet into the heart of that mountain. Bam, clink, ka-ching, pow, pew, 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 pew. So, final score. Newfangled steam drill, 9 feet. One man armed with nothing but sweat and gumption and two 20-pound hammers, 14 feet. Oh wait, did I forget to mention that since John Henry was using 2 hammers, he drilled 2 holes, while the steam drill only did 1. So really, the score was like 9 to 20 fucking 8. Yeah. But But then, bad news, guys. John Henry puts down his hammers and dies. Because he just hammered that rock so hard that he gave himself a fucking stroke. It doesn't say so in the ballad, but I like to think that his last words were something like, damn right. Anyway, then he was dead. So I think they ended up using the steam drill anyway, although they had to cancel work for like a week because everyone is convinced that John Henry's ghost lives in the tunnel. Also later on, it turns out that the tunnel is notoriously unstable and it ends up collapsing a ton of times. But none of that matters, because the real hero of this story is Little Bill, who held 2 drills right next to his body, while an absurdly muscular dude repeatedly charged towards him, flailing 2 20-pound hammers. And he kept holding those drills and turning them and shaking out the rocky debris and switching out the drills when they got dull for 35 minutes and 28 feet. And also lived through the whole thing, didn't have a stroke or even shit himself in panic. So let's hear it for Little Bill, real American hero. The end.